Hello super friends and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And in today's video we're going to be reviewing Arrow Season 6 episode 18 titled Fundamentals. So this episode opened insanely and we had a lot of anticipation going into this episode, going what we knew before going in. And this scene opens amazing. It was in the precinct, it was in the SCPD. We see Oliver bust in no less than his season 1 to 3 original Arrow hood outfit. And this was insane. He's going around beating the hell out of these cops and he's absolutely devastating them, being this unstoppable machine of an absolute badass. And this is exactly what Arrow Season 1 encapsulated, and that's exactly what this episode replicated. This was just a masterful action scene, and it ends up with him coming face to face with a load of cops, and we see Ricardo Diaz behind them all, and then it just cuts to the title card. And that was like the best way this episode could have opened. And then it goes to 10 hours earlier, and then we see how it gets to that. So basically what's going on here is we see that Oliver is actually facing impeachment due to the fact he fired the district attorney and the chief of staff at the police station. And they have basically said that, you know, he fired us because we were kind of knew he was the Green Arrow, so he's covering for himself, so it's obstructing justice. So what's going on in this episode is, while that's going on and he's facing impeachment, he has meetings with, like, you know, the councilman and people like that, and due to these transactions he ends up getting drugged by Vertigo, which we found out Ricardo Diaz is now trafficking again within Star City, bringing Vertigo back into the city. And Oliver gets under the effects of Vertigo, and this leads to so many different things that basically play out the entire episode. So we see that Oliver is just going through so much trouble with this. He's going through trouble, obviously, before any of this going on with the team, and then with Diggle, and now he's going through some stuff with Felicity and William. And obviously this is, you know, full spoilers ahead, of course, but obviously he is actually not having as much trouble with Felicity, as he's actually seeing these things. After having a meeting with the councilman, he actually goes back home and he lashes out at Felicity and William. But it turns out that none of this actually ever happened because he was under the effects of Vertigo. He was drugged by the councilman due to a handshake transaction. So anyway, we see Oliver back at the bunker after Felicity told him that they need some space, even though she didn't actually say that, of course. We see him, Quentin comes in, and they have an amazing chat. This is one of my favourite scenes in the episode. We see Oliver and Quentin. I love the scenes between Oliver and Quentin because Quentin is practically Oliver's dad at this point, and I think that's incredible. And, you know, Stephen Amell and Paul Blackthorne are such incredible actors, and their scenes together are fire. And I just think that, you know, seeing them two together, just having this father-son chat was really nice, and they just have this really great chemistry and this really great relationship that's developed. You know, they started off in this show hating each other, and now they have this mutual respect for each other, and they are just so inclined with each other. I think that's a brilliant thing to behold. And seeing this scene, it was golden. It was literally one of the best scenes in the entire season, and probably in the episode. And I loved it. You know, he's basically just talking to him. And Stephen Amell is literally on the verge of crying in so many of these lines, where he's basically saying, you know, why does everyone keep leaving me? And I think it's really powerful. Anyway, Quentin leaves and he says, right, I'm going to go back to City Hall. You need to get ready for this impeachment meeting. See you in a bit. He goes off, and then Oliver sees someone come down the elevator, and it is no other than my boy Josh Segarra as Adrian Chase. Now, this blew my mind because obviously I knew, you know, quite a long time ago, I knew Adrian Chase was in this episode. But oh my god, I didn't know how good he was going to be, and I didn't know what was actually going to be there. I didn't know how much he was going to be in the episode. I thought personally he was going to be in it for like one scene, but he's in like a good third of the episode, and he's really fantastic. Just all of his moments where he's basically in Oliver's ear the entire episode, just taunting him and just commenting on everything that's going on. And he's fantastic. He shows up in the Prometheus suit. We get an incredible fight between Oliver and Prometheus, where Oliver actually ends up killing Adrian. And when he does that, he actually just turns around and he's right there again. And that's when Oliver starts to realize, okay, I'm hallucinating. But Josh Segarra is just so incredible in this role, and it just proves why Adrian Chase is one of my favorite characters in the history of Arrow. And his chemistry with Stephen Amell is something that not many other actors have on the show, especially with Stephen in particular. None of them have this relationship and this bond that Oliver and Adrian have. So seeing that coming together, you know, just that it's just fire, and it's pure great dialogue. And Adrian brings up so many good points. But anyway, Adrian, easily the standout of this episode, easily the best part about it. And then we see Oliver actually go back up the elevator and actually comes out in the Queen Mansion, which brought back major Season 1 vibes, and this is where we actually see Earth 1 original Laurel come back, which was really insane. I didn't expect that at all. And she is, this is a good point that's brought up by Adrian, is that, this is Laurel in her purest form. This is before, the Gambit. This was before everyone, died in her eyes. This was before the Black Canary. And it was a really great scene, and then this cuts immediately into Laurel's final scene, where she dies in the hospital after she was the Black Canary. We see Oliver in the Season 4 suit, Adrian's still there. It's really good stuff. And then Oliver has this impeachment meeting. He's kind of freaking out a little bit, and he's about to actually reveal to everyone that he's the Green Arrow, which was kind of what they were setting up. But then Quinton actually opens his mouth and says, right, yeah, you're getting out of it, you're not doing that, you're getting out. So he sends him back to the bunker. Oliver goes back, and he actually comes face to face with his old self. He comes face to face with Season 1 Oliver. And this was a really awesome moment too. Oliver shows up, he's there in his Season 1 suit, he screams at him, "You have failed this city," in such an incredible tone. And all this stuff was just amazing. It's amazing to see. And I think that all of it was just perfect. And we also see him, there's another Vertigo scene then, which goes into it, where he actually comes face to face with Ricardo Diaz. That was pretty great. And then Oliver actually goes after Diaz, and this cuts to the scene at the start of the episode. And it's just this insane action sequence. And then this actually leads to what I believe is one of the best moments in the episode, and especially a standout for me, is the Olicity moment, where Felicity actually goes out there and she stops him. And I think this was really great, because this is where Felicity is perfect. This is where she works. And Emily Betrick has really pulled it off really well. And, considering how I haven't really liked Felicity that much in the past couple of seasons, it's been really great to see a moment like that. And just the way it ends off with them going off on the grappling hook arrow and as a throwback to Season 1 was fantastic. We then get the news that Quinton, seeing as Oliver is now impeached officially, it turns out that Quinton is now the mayor of the city, which is something I kind of predicted earlier on. And I'm glad that happened. I'm glad Quinton's the mayor. I think that's a really good decision, and I really want to see how that handles. I mean, there is obviously the theory that Quinton is going to die in the next couple of episodes, which I really hope doesn't happen, because I'll probably end up crying my eyes out. But the point is, I'm very happy he's the mayor. And then it goes back to this scene where Oliver's like, right, I'm going back to basics. It's no team, it's just me out there. I'm going back to the basics, and I would love to see him actually just go out in the Season 1 suit all the time. Perhaps go back to all the typical tropes he had in Season 1, as he is going back to the basics. And this is what's going to be going on over the next couple episodes, I assume, with Oliver. But that is my review for Arrow 618. I know this was a bit rushed and a bit on the nose, but it's literally, I'm a bit behind on my video schedule, so I have two different ways of making videos. I'm making these on my iPad, so it's a bit different to how I normally do it. And I also have a 10-minute limit on my iPad in terms of videos I can make, so that's why it's kind of a bit rushed and not as in-depth as I'd like it to be. But besides all that, what did you guys think about this episode? Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it, what you liked, what you didn't. Let's just have a great discussion about this episode, because it was definitely, in my opinion, the best episode that we have had in a long time, and it's also the best episode of the season, hands down. And just Adrian Chase being in this episode alone was easily just going to make me biased towards this episode. But I think this episode also proves why Adrian Chase is the best villain that Arrow's ever had. And I couldn't have enjoyed this episode enough. It was major Season 1 feels. It was just really a good throwback to how Arrow used to be. And I think that, perhaps that's what they're playing up going into the, the last few episodes of the season, is it's going to go back to those familiar Season 1 vibes. But thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. It helped me out a lot. And share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV, and get them to join the community. And as always, guys, please subscribe for all of your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, and Black Lightning. And with all that said, guys, I hope to see you again in my next video.